Welcome to Dr. Keel's workshop. Most of the projects I build are usually based on necessity of needing to fix a problem. So we're out here in my workshop right now, and this is basically the man cave that I built after I built the building about 15 years ago. It's got a kitchen and a bathroom and kind of a little dining area. Then up above it, I have this loft where I store mostly tubs of Christmas and different holiday stuff, as well as toys from when my kids were little, things like that. So this is the stairs going up the loft, and so for the last 15 years since I built this, every time I need something out of the loft, I have to go up and down the steps, which, as many of you know, have to do the same thing with your storage items. Carrying big totes like that up and down steps is sometimes rather difficult and could potentially be dangerous if you miss a step and fall about 15 steps. So I decided to build a lift, and so this is my lift that I built right here. So I looked on the YouTube and looked at some various different ideas that other people had and other lifts that they had built. One of the things I found, though, that most of the lifts that people built were built against walls. And so what they would do is put some type of support in the very middle of the platform and then use that as the anchor point for their winch or whatever mechanism they were using to lift the platform up and down. Well, since I was doing it on the edge of already of a platform, I wanted to be able to basically get to all four sides, so that wasn't going to work. So my solution was get the remote control here. Is to use a set of pulleys. So you can see the pulleys right here. So by using this set of pulleys, I was able to basically lift evenly on both corners, and by putting the cross member that the pulley's attached to down below the actual deck, that way it didn't get in the way when you took it to the top. I also use these steel channels, which you can buy at any local home store. They're about 30 bucks a piece. They're quite versatile. And then what you do is get a set of these small trolleys. So I've got two on each side. They're separated by about a foot there. And the trolleys run in the channel, so that keeps the platform on track as it goes up and down. The other thing that I wanted to do was to be able to fold this thing up. And so what I did was basically put it on a hinge, and then to support it, use some steel angle iron. That's 1.5 inch angle iron is what this is built out of. And this allows you to bend the thing up out of the way, and then you just put the pin back in, and you can put the cotter pin with it, and that'll hold it. So that way when you want to store it, you can raise it all the way up and it's out of the way. So I'm up in the loft now, and this is the winch, and of course it's a remote control version. So this is a 220-pound winch, but that's direct pull on it. But since it's running through basically one set of pulleys, that doubles it to 440 pounds. So the platform itself weighs about 50 pounds. So conceivably you could put almost 400 pounds on there. Now the tubs and things that I'm going to pick up don't ever weigh that much. And also with that weight, conceivably a person could ride up and down it. However, for this type of setup, that's probably not the best idea. But basically, when you got the little remote, you can start and stop it. And you start it, a little green light comes on. You hit it up. So I mounted this to one of the I-beams that supports my building, and I welded up a 3/8 inch steel plate and had two pieces, so I just welded them together, and then basically drilled some holes in the flange on the I-beam, which then allowed me to put some bolts through it, straighten this up, bolt this up. Since it's sticking out from the I-beam about 4.5 inches as it's lifting, it creates torque on the I-beam flange. And so to counteract that, basically I cut this piece of 1.5 angle iron at 45 on each end, welded it to the I-beam as well as to the top of the plate. So now this thing is very sturdy and it'll never go anywhere. So I just riding up these channels, you can see it rides pretty smooth. And then at the top, because technically you could pull it out, I installed some stops in the channels right there. So that's where it stops, and the platform is up even with the top of this platform. So I've got my little makeshift safety rail here that I'll pull back, and then basically you can load your stuff on here if you're bringing it down, and then when you're bringing stuff up, you can pull it right off and put it on the shelves. So this little project actually wasn't all that expensive, with the winch, the steel, the pulleys, and the channels. I spent about $200 on it. It did take several hours to build it, and obviously involved some welding. And so if you were going to build one like this, you'd probably want to build a weld. I have seen some people on YouTube build these out of wood. I wouldn't really recommend that, because when the steel is much stronger, it can support much more weight, and as when you're building anything, you want to overbuild it, so you want your platform much stronger than anything you would ever lift. That's also why I went with a 440-pound winch, because I don't really plan on lifting anything more than about 200 pounds. So I've got some Christmas boxes loaded up on here that I've been waiting to take up until I finish this project. So let's run them up. And that's how you do it. So this is the last load of Christmas tree stuff to go up. So I appreciate you watching this video, and it's been another episode of Dr. Keel's Workshop. If you like the videos, please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. I hope everyone has a great day.